Welcome back to Tall Boy Radio, episode 31. And this is a bonus episode. We're sticking it out midweek because we have got David joining us from Double Trouble again about the launch of the rum. And he's kindly involved us in his taste testing team. Nicely showcased there, Gary.
Superb. Looking forward to this.
Indeed. So we're going to crack one open each and see how it goes. And hopefully Andy can stay off the Vimto.
Well, I'm doing a off-site recording today. I'm actually at the Vimto.
All right, never right. There we go.
I'm drinking it.
For Vimto, Andy.
I've gone neat for the first taste.
Yeah, did you want any ice with yours, Gaza? I like the smell of it. Do you want?
Yeah, should we grab some ice? Yeah.
You keep talking.
It smells absolutely delightful.
It does have a really nice smell, doesn't it?
It does. It smells. It smells well. I'm just going to wait for Adam to distribute an ice cube. Not too many. You don't want it too watered.
You don't. I'm with you on that.
So just maybe the one. And then I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah. So I asked this question nervously. Andy, are you a rum drinker?
Not normally, but I do actually quite enjoy this. Some of that burns my mouth a little bit is nice, and it's quite enjoyable.
We know you enjoy a whiskey.
Yeah, I've saved a bit for my missus as well, so she'll official verdict as well.
I actually said I'd save a bit for Kim. She gets a nubbin.
I'm not saving any for Jenny, so she can do one. There we go. Nice in.
Sweet. Well, Andy's finished his.
Not the whole bottle.
Right.
Right.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thanks, Dave.
Thanks for having me back on.
Glad to have you back. I like that one.
That's very pleasant. It's just the smell is obviously rum, but it smells gorgeous.
You can taste it's got that sort of sugary rum taste to it.
And obviously, I said a bit of a misconception that all rums are sweet sort of thing. And I know you can get sweet rums, and obviously there are some that aren't. So there's a massive misperception because it's sugar based.
Indeed.
That everything is sweet, but that smell is quite, I don't know, like goldeny ambery sort of. It's beautiful.
Can you give us a hint as to some of the flavourings in it, some of the spices?
So you definitely get the hit from vanilla. So there's vanilla in there. There's treacle, so black treacle. There's a bit of cinnamon in there. I think we've had about 11 people fill in the feedback survey from the tasting team so far, and so the words that come out the most. So there's a bit in the survey that's give us 3 words that you would use to describe this to your friends.
Yeah.
People go a bit freestyle and sometimes give me 4 or 5, but the words that appear the most are smooth, sweet, warming, and then some of the other ones are refreshing, different, tasty, drinkable, subtle, very good. There's one that's a bit rogue that's went caramelly, Caribbean-y, and bougie.
Andy's obviously filled his in first then.
No, I'd have had Vimto in mind.
I'm expecting something like needs Vimto.
It's interesting because one of the guys that I play darts with, or I don't think he's playing this year because he's got 1 or 2 some medical issues with his back, is a guy called Ben Hilditch. So he goes by, I think, the Goliath 180 on Twitter, and I think he's part of your taste testing team as well. And that was interesting because I didn't realise. I knew he was a sort of a short sort of drinker as such, but I didn't realise he was on your sort of tasting team. And then I think he retweeted to sort of say, "Oh, this is great," sort of thing. And I was like, "Oh, Ben, okay." And it literally was like a weird sort of didn't realise he was doing it. And then obviously I've sort of tweeted him, and he was like, because he's an ex-pupil of mine, because I teach it. He's an ex-pupil of mine as well. I was like, wow. It's funny, because the first time when we played darts, he walked in, and I was like, "Hi, Ben." He's like, hiya, sir, sort of thing. And it was really weird. He's like a 25, 26-year-old lad, sort of, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, fair enough. You don't have to call me sir anymore.
Was his maths any good? Has he learned something, though?
He can count at darts, so that's always a bonus. Whether that's through my teaching or whether that's through playing darts, I don't know, but
probably.
Well, yeah, that's weird.
I can pick up the cinnamon in that one, though. When I first, and then when he said, definitely get the vanilla.
Yeah. I think for me it's the treacle though.
Yeah.
I think for me that's the.
Yeah. It's interesting, like with the gin feedback and the vodka feedback, when we were asking for, like, is the sweetness right? Is the flavour right? Really, and it was quite overwhelming. Everyone was, it's great as it is, don't change it. Whereas the rum's a bit different. It's a bit, quite a few people saying they'd like it sweeter, and probably maybe 50% of people saying they'd like more spice. So I think it's one of those drinks where it's a bit of split between what people actually like. But we will, I think once I've got the full number of feedback in, we will probably end up tweaking this recipe, and it looks like giving it more spice is what the majority are asking for at the moment.
It's interesting because I'm generally not a massive cinnamon fan, but actually I don't feel as though I can, whilst it's there, I don't feel as though it overpowers the drink. It's not, you don't drink it and automatically say, oh my god, that's like
taste of Christmas.
Taste and smells of Christmas sort of thing. Yeah, it's not like that at all. And I'm not normally a big sort of cinnamon fan. Your cinnamon bagels, I'm not a fan of them. But I don't get a massive amount of it at all from this. I think I get more of the treacle really, which is
the vanilla and the treacle is definitely what comes through the strongest after.
Yeah. Now you say you can. A lovely bitter aftertaste, and it is a really bitter aftertaste.
Yeah.
I'm very fond of that flavour. So go on, Andy. You were going to say something.
I was just going to say, would you do a second one that is specifically spiced? So you got the 2 brands, sort of thing. Or?
Yeah, I think so. So the plan at the moment is to try and I don't want to give too much away here, but we will hopefully by the end of the year have a collection of rum, vodka, gin, and something else. There's something else that's quite exciting, and I had a meeting about it today with a local guy that has recently just been granted quite a bit of funding from the Scottish government to do what he's doing. So we're going to hopefully be working with him by the end. We should have a very good collection to showcase, and then next year we maybe do some other limited edition stuff.
Brilliant.
Great stuff.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Superb.
Amy's now getting nothing.
I know, I did. I thought, oh no, there's a tiny. She can sniff the bottle. That should be okay with that.
Yeah, what'd you get from that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. She'll pick up on cinnamon though. She loves Christmas. I saw something actually online, and I thought of you guys when I saw it. I don't know if you've seen it. Have you heard? I think it's pronounced Bartesian or Bartesian. It is it's an American machine, and basically you plug your spirits into it. So you get a bottle, 4 different bottles. You put your gin, your whiskey, your vodka, and I think it was rum, and you plug it into it, and then it works like an espresso coffee machine where you get the pods. And you want a mojito,
really?
You stick the pod in, you press mojito, and it filters it through. And I thought, if that takes off, Double Trouble can have their own range, and they could fill that with their own drinks.
There you go.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I like that.
And I mean, the retail for. Sorry, go.
No, I was saying it sounds good though. I've not seen it, but it does sound interesting.
Yeah, check it out. I think they retail for around about $350, so they're not cheap.
Yeah, but
no. Yeah, well, I know. Andy will be googling that one later.
He's on it now. Look at him.
Well,
Ginny one, tonic in another, Vimto in another.
We don't need the pods. Where's a pint glass? Yeah.
So go on then. How are we doing with the charity then as well? How's that taken off the 9-dart challenge? I know Gaz is soon to be paying another £10 into it.
Yeah, and that hasn't happened yet with Jabba. I know he was away, and he sort of private messaged me just to say I'll be in touch, and I get that he's busy and stuff. So that's a work in progress. Obviously, me and Adam both donated because we hit exactly the same score.
Yeah.
Which was, and I thought I was going to have to pay on my own, and then I think I hit like
two of the last
3 or whatever it was, and we ended up with the same. So that was good fun. So the one with Jabba will happen, at some point as such. But obviously, having been part of the tasting team already, then that's great. I don't mind paying another £10 charity, which is fantastic.
I appreciate it. It's going well so far. I think with something like the way that we did it, you needed to read it a couple of times, and it was maybe confusing for people. And so I don't think we've had as many people as I would have liked, but we've made we've brought in a good few hundred for the charity, and I think there's still people wanting to take part, but we'll probably end up just making it easier and saying, look, if you want to be in the tasting team, donate to the charity. Yeah, if you've not got the time to play darts or take the challenge, it's fine. And then we're probably going. I think we've got. Do you know the boards that we made?
Yeah.
Yes. So we got a few of those made, and quite a few collectors got in touch about wanting to buy them, and we sold a few. But we've got 1 or 2 left, so we're going to be raffling one of them off, along with Keith Brunt from. He's one of the JDC Academy guys. I think it's Blackburn. We said he got in touch, and I said, well, why don't we do a combined one, and half can go to your academy and half can go to the disability darts thing. So we'll do that. So we're not quite at the £2,000 target, but we've got until April. So I'm still hopeful.
Great stuff. I did have another idea actually for raising money for charity. You know me and my ideas.
Here we go.
But this one, I don't think. Yeah, this one I don't think you could be able to get it out in time for April. It might be one towards Christmas of next year, I was thinking. But if you got in touch with every single professional darts player, got them to give you their own cocktail recipe using the spirits that you produce and a few other mixes beside Vimto banned. And then you could, produce a cocktail book, and obviously all the proceeds of that could then go to charity. Because otherwise, I think if you did it just to sell, then obviously everybody who gave a recipe would probably want their cut.
Yeah.
But if it was for charity, I think you'd get that.
So you'd open up onto page 2 and you got the MVG Mojito, or page 3 like you've got the Gary Anderson whatever.
Yeah.
And each dart player gives an idea for a different drink using one of Double Trouble's base ingredients.
Yeah.
And a lot of effort for them as well to do. It's easy to say, this is the one I like, turn it into my cocktail. You know what I mean? It's it's a good idea. I doubt we'll turn that around before this Christmas, but I do like it.
I thought that is probably won't get it done for then, but I think it's a bit of fun as well that the players might want to get involved in as well.
Yeah, just to see what each other, because some might choose a cosmopolitan-based drink. Some might do a mojito or pina colada or whatever, and you got all the different flavours. Then be interesting just to see, and all the proceeds obviously go towards the charity and the disability darts and everything else.
No, that's a good idea. I like that. I've written it down. I've got my pen and paper there.
I think that was really the only one I came up with for this time, actually.
In terms of the sort of, I know we mentioned a little bit briefly last time, in terms of your involvement with the PDC per se. I know you've got a couple of sort of players, obviously, like Wayne, you have an affinity with, and obviously Jabba, and there's a couple of other sort of development players and stuff. But in terms of, have you investigated yet trying to get into the PDC, or is that a little bit too early in your evolution sort of thing?
So we joked on Twitter with Barry Hearn a while ago about becoming a sponsor for the PDC, and he told us to come back when we had a decent marketing budget.
Right. Okay.
And we did get prices for what type of money they look for when they're partnering, and it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's like 50. So we're not quite there yet. But one day that would be.
And so in terms of, so you're sponsoring, for example, Jabba. So if, and fingers crossed that it still happens, if he was to be able to qualify for the UK Open, some of the TV series, would he be allowed to wear your logo on his shirt, or do the PDC vet what can be worn and what can't be worn?
Yeah, I'm not sure, to be honest. I don't know what the rules are on, because I know some of the professionals aren't able to be associated in that way with alcohol brands. Like I know, so Gary Anderson's management team we've met with, and they're not allowed to, like Windmill as well will no co-sponsor or anything like that because of the alcohol. Because they're marketing to everyone, including juniors, that's why they don't do it. But I'm not sure what the rules are with players' shirts, like on the PDC tour or anything like that. But like say, so Rich Edhouse is one of the tour players, and I think he's got his logo on our shirt. So I assume it's okay, but I'm not sure on what the rules are, to be honest.
Right, because obviously that would be fantastic, is if you see a couple of, the couple of players up there, and obviously you've got, the leather on the sleeve or on the lapel or whatever it may. Yeah, absolutely, just like that there, like that. You see,
just Adam, good enough.
Yeah.
You just need to get better at darts, then you'll be fine.
I need to get a lot better. And funnily enough, actually, when we did the Guinness World Record thing, that's one thing that they made clear as well, that we couldn't have an alcoholic brand sponsor us, obviously because it's Guinness. Yeah. So they have to be the prime name on there. Yeah. So yeah, which is a shame. So any other thoughts then? Sorry, go on.
I was going to say Richie wore it at the Worlds, so it featured on Sky at the World Championships. So we've got the photo of his shirt showing the logo and stuff like that. So it must be, well, whether they knew it was an alcohol brand, I'm not sure, but it seemed to go.
If it works, it works, doesn't it? You sneak it in there, that's it.
Yeah. No such thing as bad publicity as well.
No, absolutely. This is lovely.
It's actually interesting, the ice. Andy won't know this because he pretty much downed his. But the ice really changes the flavour as well. Once you get that in it, it becomes more subtle.
Yeah, like I say, it's weird because now you mentioned cinnamon, you can it's sort of there, but for me, it's like I say, it's not overpowering. For me, it was definitely the treacle. For me, was what you got. But I do get, like I say, your vanilla, your cinnamon and stuff. I didn't get too much cinnamon, which is great. And I say it's weird because I'm not normally a cinnamon fan. So if you were to go slightly more spiced, I'd be interested to see if, for me, that became a little bit too spicy sort of thing. But
I'm really getting the vanilla coming through now. Once the ice, I can, like you say, I taste the treacle now. You said,
and it's interesting because I suppose it's what you sort of hear, and it's like Dave mentioned. Oh, there's a vanilla and there's a treacle. So that's what I can taste. As soon as you mention that, actually that's the taste that I can taste. But it's interesting that you're getting not mixed feedback, but all the feedback isn't just keep it the same, which is I think what you were saying in terms of the last product was we're not going to mess about with it because pretty much everybody went, yeah, that's the one.
Correct.
So
with this one, I think. Go on.
No, just in terms of you changing that, then would that be your two decisions, or would you get a select few? Would you change it and then send out a second sample, a third sample? How far would you go down the line to get it to the way you wanted to get it to?
I think it'll depend on how split it is. So if it ends up like 50-50, then we may well do another one. If it ends up with one that's the majority, we'll probably do a few versions and taste them with some people that are rum experts, if you like. And we're increasing the spice. Like, say spice comes out as the thing that people want overwhelmingly. Say it ends up 70-80% people saying that it could do with more spice. Then we'll probably end up making another 3 or 4 with more spice, with different amounts of ginger and other things like potentially chilies that we've used in the gin before that brings a nice flavour out. Just small amounts, but things like that. And then if we think it's done what people have asked for, it stays balanced, then we may well just put it out there. But we'll get a good few opinions. It won't just be me and Scott.
Yeah. Okay.
I once steeped a vodka with chilies, and I used just an absolute ton of bird's eye chilies in there. Now, I've never been maced in my life, but I imagine that's what it was like drinking that. I literally had to throw everything out that it touched. It was worse than those hot nuts that we tried.
Really?
It was absolutely lethal. Absolutely lethal.
When you talk about it, you think a nice spicy sort of taste. You think actually that would go really, really well. But then you think actually if it went it's like anything, I suppose it's like any mix of drink. If you go too much with one of the ingredients, then it's a bit like actually that just completely ruins the whole balanced flavour.
It did.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, but it's just curious to sort of how much I suppose product testing, sort of R&D, do you go into before you then actually effectively push a button and go, right, that's the one and we're going to go.
Yeah, well, I mean, before we decided to send this one out, we tried 4 different versions of this one, if you like, with various different amounts of each ingredient. But this one, and it was similar with the gins and the vodka. So we would get 4 or 5 batches made up, different flavors, and then we would taste them. And almost instantly, out of the 4, this was the one that, like, I just thought it stood out well above the others. Now, with stuff like this, it's all personal taste, but it just seemed to be the better one out of the 4, and it was the same with the gin. There was 4 that we went through, and the one that we ended up going with was the one that stood out as being by far the best tasting, and I think that's probably why the feedback came in the way it did. But with this one, I think rum has got so many different types of flavour and different styles of rum that it's just people are more used to. It's not really like that one that I have, Bacardi or whatever. So maybe that's part of it. Yeah. But it tastes good to me.
Yeah, it tastes fantastic.
It does. I just one. I say one last thing as such for me is, I know you mentioned the Scottish sort of disability darts that you were involved in. Did you say that there was a Disability World Cup coming up? Did you say?
Yeah, April 2021.
Right, and it is. Where's that being held? Excuse my ignorance. Is that in the UK?
Central Scotland. So a place called Whitburn, the Hillcroft Hotel.
Right. Okay.
So I was there a couple of weeks ago meeting the general manager to check the setup and things like that. So we'll probably be there with a board, maybe doing a 9-dart challenge and things like that, and talking to people about the gin and vodka. And we've got we are going to do something like, I don't know if you can see them very well. Yeah. That won't be the size of the bottles, but that is the sample colours that we're going to do for the World Cup. It's a gold and a silver, and the winners and runners up will get like a presentation case with those style bottles.
I'm just thinking, and it's obviously 2021. I'm just thinking. I
see where you're leading, but carry on.
Is it worth perhaps myself, Adam, Andy? Let's just hike on a train. Let's get up there. Let's come and visit you guys. We'll get involved with some darts. We'll have a beer and we'll have a rum and we'll have a gin together, and we'll have a bit of a weekend with you guys, and we'll enjoy watching some hopefully decent darts.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and if it's not decent, we can drink some rum and it won't matter.
I know that the hotel are going to stock all the Double Trouble brands as well, so there'll be gin, vodka, whiskey, or gin, vodka, rum. So I think I just gave away what I was trying to.
That's it.
Oh no!
It was probably quite obvious.
Yeah. You're talking.
We got it out of him in the end.
67% of this podcast are huge whiskey fans.
Yeah, and I'm the one that isn't.
Myself and Andy do enjoy a good whiskey, don't we?
Yeah. There's no Vimto in that.
No. But although strangely, he does mix his with beer. He likes a Boilermaker.
Yeah. So I'm not a massive whiskey drinker, and I just. But yes, it's something that I've never sort of drunk as such. But you definitely.
That I tell you what, whatever the money is, whatever you're short, we'll make it up to be on that taste testing panel, because I do enjoy a good whiskey.
But I'm just thinking that we could definitely do that and head up there, couldn't we?
Yeah.
That might be quite a nice little sort of trip.
Definitely. Yeah. And if the whiskey's out by then, we can certainly
I don't know what the time's like, but if I just talk about the whiskey for 2 seconds, because the way that we might end up doing that is slightly different, and we will only be able to invite a few people. So you guys have probably just got first dibs on an invite. But the way we'll end up doing it, because we didn't really want to wait 10 years for it to mature, so we're not going to make a whiskey from scratch. It'll end up becoming like a blended whiskey through using existing malts. And we'll end up having a session where we meet at the distillery and we go through, right, what type of whiskey do we want to create? Do we want a smoky one? Do we want various different types? And that will then allow the blender to go and work on it. So that's where we'll need some input. So if you want to be
absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, my particular favourite Scottish whisky is the Lowland whiskies. I love them. I do love them. And did you? I know we both enjoy bourbons, don't we? But have you got a particular favourite Scottish whisky?
I drink whatever Amy's dad brings. So Glenfiddich, Bells. I drink anything. I love whiskey.
There you go.
So there's definitely your two. I mean, I'll come along for the ride, but in terms of
absolutely.
I think you've definitely got two whiskey tasters here if you want them. But yeah,
sounds good. I'm a big whiskey fan. We Suzanne and I honeymooned in Islay and basically spent the week touring the distilleries and sampling the whiskey, and Suzanne drank the tea and coffee, so it worked out well for me.
Yeah, I did the Edinburgh whiskey tour there, up by the castle, and we went along with the wife, and I paid for, I think it's the gold one, the premium tour anyway, so you get all the whiskey, and obviously my wife does not touch whiskey. I say I walked out of there, I staggered out of there. It was fantastic.
I've done that tour myself. It is really good.
It is a good tour. Yeah, it's a good tour, and there's a decent bar as well at the end of it, which you can have a few more. Yeah. And then after that, they were doing some free sampling in the shop as well. So I was in a world of trouble. But walked out of there and it was St Andrew's Day as well. Actually, the day before St Andrew's Day, I walked out there. The cold air hit me, and that was it. I need to go back to the hotel for a lie down.
No, brilliant. What I mean, obviously, from the last time we spoke, it's great that momentum is carrying on, and that you're still sort of busy in getting it out there and stuff. And it's great that you continue to try and get involved in pushing it in terms of the darts and stuff. I suppose, and I know you mentioned it was the darts niche market that you sort of went for. Initially, any sort of ideas to sort of diversify into perhaps other sport or music or any other, or was it just darts effectively that you're looking at?
Yes, so for the Double Trouble brand, definitely we will stay focused on darts. I mean, we just started shipping to Germany. I don't know if you saw that or if I covered that.
Yeah, I saw that.
And we will look to see where else is safe to ship to. So we have tried shipping to Russia. Didn't get there. We have tried shipping to Belgium. It ended up a nightmare. So there's a few, and I just need to find good ways to ship alcohol, basically. But yeah, Germany, we've done all right. We've shipped a few bottles over there since we've done it. But in terms of Double Trouble, definitely we will stick with darts, as in the brand.
The brand name.
Darts. But Scott and I will probably. So I finish up. So I've spent 20 years working for BT, and in the next 2 months I'll finish up with BT, and I'm going to have to decide whether I get another real job or whether I go and do this properly.
Just pretend to do what you're doing.
Right, instead of it being a hobby. So there's a few big decisions to be made, and if we end up doing something like that, we may well look to try and repeat what we've done for a different community and see if we can have similar success.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah. I mean, we got on board because of the darts community, and we saw all that, and we are fond of the odd tipple as well.
Yeah.
Excited about the whiskey, dude. I'm not gonna lie. I'm very excited about
that. I'm just excited in terms of seeing where it's going to go, and maybe in X number of years, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years down the line, you can say, actually, we played a very small part in actually chatting to Dave and sort of bouncing ideas, and you just think, what, I'm just interested in it. Obviously, I hope beyond anything else that it goes really well, but it'd just be great just to think, that tiny small part that in 10 years time you're like, actually, I remember a podcast we did with Dave all those years ago.
That's
sort of
it,
thing.
Hopefully we'll still be doing it then.
Hopefully we'll still be doing it by then.
Might be turning a profit ourselves, hopefully.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
But yeah, I do think though, travelling up there for the disability darts, I think that's worth doing.
For no other reason other than just to show a bit of support to you, Dave, and to go up and have a bit of an away weekend and away day sort of thing.
What date was that again?
I'll send you the exact dates. I think it's end of March, start of April, I'm pretty sure, or either end of April, start of May, one of the two.
Yeah,
but I'll confirm and let you know, Adam. It's I think it'll be a really good few days. There's teams from all over the world, and they've got a few special guests coming along and stuff like that. It'll be worth the trip, I think.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And as I said, the hotel's going to stock double trouble, so worst case scenario, you can drink that.
Just drink that.
That's it, yeah.
Perfect.
And I'll take care on the stairs, I promise.
Yes, no falling over.
No falling over this time, no. So yeah, that will be fantastic. That's something for the diaries.
Yeah, 100%.
It's
Great
funny
stuff.
you talk about making a road trip. Scott and I were talking the other day about what do we do to try and reach a few more darts pubs in the UK, and we were talking about doing a dartathon, like us playing in a game of pairs in as many pubs as possible in each country in the UK. Now we do need to plan it more, but we'll definitely come down your way and get a game against you two.
But I need to get practicing. I barely.
You'll be fine, Adam.
No, trust me. He can pick up. He can pick up his 3 darts 6 months apart, and he's throwing within 5 minutes or so pretty well. Me, I need to practice every day.
Get practicing.
I need to practice every day.
If David's got to come down, we're not losing to them.
No. Don't worry, I can bring us down.
But no, I mean, that'd be great. And obviously, if you are, if you wanted any sort of support in terms of sort of trying to promote that sort of locally or getting into sort of various places locally, with just give us a shout. And obviously, I'll put the feelers out in terms of the Staffordshire Super League. Because obviously there's loads of decent darts.
Well, you play against some professional players. You played against Ian.
So you've got Ian White plays and Andy Hamilton plays. There's a lad called Jake Jones who's going for his PDC card this year. So there's decent players. But there's X number of venues in and around Stoke, which is a bit of a hotbed for darts anyway. And if you were thinking of trying to get X number of pubs, or maybe one in each county or one in each country or whatever it may be, just give me a shout. Let me know if that's what you want to do. And because obviously, I'll just sort of retweet. I'll try and get in touch with all of their sort of club secretaries and stuff. And if they're up for it as well, then definitely, you might be able to pick up 1 or 2 different places.
Yeah.
We need to give that a bit more thought, but I'll definitely be in touch, because we definitely need advice on where to go, and if it ends up that we might have to mix the teams to make it a fair game. When we start, we're going to Super League venues and stuff like that. It'll just it'll make it more fun, I think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's no reason why you couldn't do. You've got Dave and Scott on 2 different teams, and then you've got player A and player B. Player A goes to Dave, player B goes to Scott, and away you go. So that might work.
So I pull them down from the inside. Is that what you're saying?
But yeah, just by all means, get in touch. I mean, obviously down the line, if it was something that you thought about doing, and just drop us a tweet or whatever, get in touch, and I'll sort of pass the word, sort of Staff Super League ish area, and we'll go from there.
Brilliant. Well, nice. Well, I've really enjoyed this bonus episode of Tallboy Radio. We got David back on. No doubt won't be the last time. Definitely getting back on when that whiskey launches. But we'll be up there knocking on your door.
That's
when that
it, absolutely,
launches. Yeah. And that's the one time you won't have to worry about Vimto with Andy.
No Vimto allowed. That's a no Vimto weekend. That's it. Not allowed.
Great stuff. So then, shall we say our goodbyes?
Yeah, great. Dave, been great chatting to you again. Wish you all the very best. Obviously, now I've tasted it, I'll go and complete all the feedback, and look forward to chatting to you again soon.
Andy?
Thank you for having me again.
Oh, pleasure. Andy?
Cheers for letting me be involved. I quite enjoyed it. I need more now.
I know. I was just thinking exactly that. I could do with another one.
Yeah, we're empty. Come on.
Just to see how it goes. But yeah, I must say I really enjoyed that one. And actually, it was the bitterness. It was that aftertaste that I enjoyed the most.
Yeah.
Rum isn't one of those drinks that I drink particularly often, other than a white rum and a mojito. But that, I have to say, I do enjoy a really bitter drink. Almost Angostura taste to it. It's fabulous.
Yeah, very pleasant.
Cheers for letting us try that one. Great stuff. So until next time, when no doubt we'll have plenty more stuff to talk about. Take care.